Well, a new documentary on PBS follows the lives of two African-American teens living in Chicago and the obstacles that they face growing up in a troubled neighborhood as they set their sights on getting out and getting a higher education. Baltimore author and U.S. Army veteran Wes Moore and his mom are here to talk about all the difference. Hey, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for coming in. This is really a big follow-up to your book, The Other Wes Moore.
Well, it was, and initially we were trying to say what were some of the biggest elements of The Other Wes Moore, and one of the big things that came out was this role that education played. And just understanding that when we talk about K-12, when we talk about getting kids through high school, oftentimes the conversation never goes to, but what happens after that? And how are students navigating college? You don't understand my story, any of our stories, without understanding the role that higher education played in it. And to see the challenge that so many students are having, 50% of African American students who enter college every single year won't make it past their first year of college.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's really insane. And so what you two have done, being basically co-executive producers of this documentary, is follow the lives of two teens for over 5 years, right? For about five-year time period. What was that like? Tell us their story.
Well, actually, I didn't meet the guys until maybe 6 or 7 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Just so that we did not in any way influence the outcome of the documentary, even though there were times that, you know, we were watching the outtakes and the footage and we want to say, okay, we want to really, you know, grab them and, you know, send them in another direction kind of thing. But it was amazing to sort of see the transition, and I tease one of them now. He said, you know, when I first started seeing his footage, he was wearing braces. Now he's out of them.
Yeah.
So
and
it's amazing.
These are two teenagers who have struggled so much and really have failed to have big adults in their lives that can help motivate them. In one case, one did. In one case, one didn't, and that very much parallels your story, The Other Wes Moore.
That's exactly right. I mean, and I had actually met both Robert and Krishan very early in the process, and you know, you think about a story like Robert, where his father killed his mother when he was 17 months old. He was raised by his grandmother because it was either her or foster care. In the case of Krishan, both of his parents were in gangs and gangbangers, and his father wasn't present in his life, and neither one of there was no male influence in their life that had made it past high school. Had even finished high school. And so watching these two navigate the process, and we really wanted to do two things. One was change the narrative around who goes to college, around why it's so important that we can get more people through college. And the other thing is we also wanted to completely dispel this myth that when people don't make it through, it's because they're not working hard enough. I mean, there are structural barriers that sit in the way, academic barriers, financial aid barriers, social transition barriers that both of these young men face, and that's what we hope to do with the documentary, that people could walk away understanding there are things that individuals can do, and there are things that we as a larger society can do to make it easier for people to navigate this process.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at when the documentary is going to air. It's All the Difference. It's going to air September 12th on PBS. You can go to pov.org for more information. And just if you could, just one piece of advice, Mom, before we go, because you played such an instrumental role in helping your son succeed. What would that be?
Well, I think it's sort of being present. For, you know, for having that child having the knowledge that you are there unconditionally, and whatever, if there stumbles, if there falls, if there, you know, you celebrate and you commiserate, but you're there. And I think, you know, in the case of Robert and Krishan, Robert's grandmother was there, and Krishan, his mother did the best she could to be there for him. So, and it's the schools, it's those things that make all the difference.
Thank you both so much for coming in. We
Thank
love
you.
when you come in, and now to finally meet your treasured mom. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
What a pleasure. You're so very welcome.